Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jacob Bind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jacob Bind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jacob Bind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jacob Bind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for watching the replay, and thank you those of you that are here live and those of you that just kind of hopped over from Periscope. I was just streaming on Periscope and now we're here on YouTube. And so what we're going to talk about today is the full moon in Gemini astrology. I'm going to show you the chart. And I have all of these notes that I took on the full moon. It's a really powerful full moon. It is the last full moon or the last moon cycle that we are having before the eclipses, because on December 25th, which is the new moon in Capricorn, we will have a solar eclipse. And then the next full moon in January, on January 10th, will be a lunar eclipse. And then the next new moon after that, on January 25th, is going to be the Aquarius new moon, where that's the beginning of the Chinese New Year and the beginning of the Year of the Rat. And I know you guys have been hearing me talk about the Year of the Rat and what that represents and how that's connected to Jupiter in Capricorn and the year of success for us. So this full moon, I believe, is going to be opening up some very powerful doors for us to communicate our truth, to speak our truth, and also to realign ourselves back onto that path. You guys were asking, what is a light worker? Or you're saying that you don't know what a light worker is. A light worker is someone who has chosen to incarnate here on the planet, and they are here for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is they bring more light to the world. So they have souls that are probably really old souls. They have a lot of experience. They could also be souls that have never actually had an experience in a human body or a life in a human body, but they chose to bring that full light into the realm of the three-dimensional reality, because that's what we're talking about here. The 3D is just one of the dimensions of the many, many, many dimensions in the universe. And so incarnating into the world, or into our world, is something that not everyone can do, but I think that it's sort of like they call it a coveted experience, because when you enter into the human world, it's like you enter into this sort of like game. like a video game or something, and you don't remember, like, the rules of the game is you get to do what you want and you get to manifest and you get to be a master manifester, but you're not going to remember who you are. And it's almost like you'll have to remember who you are as you live your life. And so that's why it's so difficult for light workers, because they feel like they're not from here. They feel like they definitely have a purpose, and there's a yearning inside to find that purpose and discover that purpose and live out their truth. And there's a deep connection to that. Not everyone has that pull towards finding their own truth or discovering their own truth. I always did, ever since I was a little girl. I never felt like I was home anywhere. And I feel like I could literally be anywhere in the world and basically still not feel like I'm at home. And so the reason for that is because a lot of, these beings, their original home, like where they're truly from, it's not here on planet Earth. It's somewhere else. It's either another planet, another star system. I mean, we're talking like out there stuff. So you have to really open your eyes and open your perspective when you think about and you talk about these things, because it goes way beyond what we've been taught, and it goes way beyond what we know to be reality, to be our truth. So this is why this channel is focused on light workers, because for that reason, if you feel called, if you're here and you have that, that curious mind, then most likely there's something pulling you towards it. There's an attraction there. It's like a magnet, like attracts like, in a sense. So anyways, that's my little intro about light workers. Hey Shannon, but I'll say hi to everybody who's in the chat. How's it going, Mr. K? Is it K? K? I don't know how to say it. And Eric, welcome in. We also got an angelic healing powers. Trina, welcome in, and Shannon and Debbie and Jay and Alexa and Teresa and Peter and New Moon Vibrations. So happy to catch you live. Being in Australia just makes it hard. I agree with you. Alexa is also from Australia as well, in case you didn't know that. Isabel, welcome in. Rebecca, how are you? Copper Boy, welcome in. Patrick, good evening. Christine, welcome in. Your name is Mo. And you are a female. Okay, awesome. And you said you're the one that's a Gemini? I'm totally bewildered, but I will go with it, Jai. Just go with it. Just trust. Trust that you were guided here. Hey, Alex, welcome in. So the way that this show works is I will show you the astrology chart, and I'll talk in general about, the full moon in Gemini. And then when I show you the chart, I'll show you more specifically what it is. And my goal with showing you the astrology charts, hey Stephanie, hey Anna, is that you will get to maybe learn a little bit of astrology along the way. And one thing that I'm going to do that's a little bit different than I've done before for these shows, at the end of it, I'm actually going to go through each of the signs and tell you what house this full moon is going to be happening in. And I'm going to start doing that for all of the moon astrology charts or broadcasts. Okay, so before we actually get into it, I'm going to tell you some really awesome stuff that's happening right now that's really exciting that you might want to know about. Jason from Ray of Light Tarot, he is another channel on YouTube. He's amazing. We just finished doing a course. We led a course together called Finding the Magic Playground, where you learn to become master manifestors and learn how the whole, law of attraction works and how you can use it to help you, create the things in your life that you truly desire. Jason and I are doing co-readings together. So there's a special holiday reading where I do your natal astrology and he does your map of destiny tarot reading, and we do it together. So it's about an hour long, and we do it live, and we record it as well, so you actually get the replay. So that's one thing that's going on. To sign up for that, everything that I'm talking about here, you can get more details if you look at the description of this YouTube video. So that's one thing that's happening. The other one is Jason and I have decided to co-lead another magic cleanse, a 40-day magic cleanse using the products called Purium that I've been using for a couple years now. or over a year anyways, and they've been amazing. I love them. I use them every day. They're really good for cleansing. They're also really good for just keeping yourself up to, you know, more healthier standards in your life on a daily basis. But they have a 40-day ultimate nutrition that we have done, and it's like a reset for your body. And we're doing it as a New Year's resolution that will begin on January 1st. So if you want to join us, look at the link in the description to a video, a YouTube video where I explain the whole thing. And you have all the details to how to sign up and how to do it. And once you sign up, make sure you let either me or Jason know, and we'll get you into the Facebook group, because we actually have a Facebook group for that. And the last announcement I want to make is that the Moon Goddess training officially begins. I have corrected the date slightly. It's going to begin on January 23rd instead of January 25th. But if you're interested in signing up for the Moon Goddess training, which is a 6-week course for women to empower themselves, to understand what, you know, holding space and being that sacred divine feminine energy really means, and to step into their own power and learn how to use their intuition and how to align with their emotions and balance themselves, balance the emotions out. This is a course for you if that's what you're interested in. You want to connect with more like-minded individuals in, you know, out there in the world. But we'll have a really beautiful group. We'll connect once a week. Hey babe. We'll connect once a week live, and we'll have the replays, and I'm going to create so many fun things, and more details are to come. But for now, the way you sign up for that is there is an application process, and it's all in the description. There's, I think, 6 questions. I can actually look at it right now. But there's 6 questions that I want you to answer, and I want you to send me the answers to them in an email so that I can look at them. And that's basically the application process. You answer the questions, and then I'll respond to you. And once you're approved, then I will send you the PayPal link to actually pay for the program. But some of the things I want to know is like what inspires you about the program. Why do you want to take the training? What is one thing that you absolutely want to learn from the program? What makes you a great candidate for the program? What do you love about yourself? What is one thing about yourself that you would like to improve on? And are you comfortable sharing in an intimate group setting? So it's really simple, you guys. It's not difficult. Those are all the questions I want you to answer to be able to get into the Moon Goddess training. So thank you for listening to me and sharing that information with you guys. Let's see what I missed in the chat. Angelic says she's a Gemini Sun, Venus, and Mars. That's a lot of Gemini energy. I've been thinking about it, but I like food and wine, so I'm not very disciplined. Food and wine. You can have plenty of food during the cleanse. Just specific types of food that help to, you know, support you during the cleanse. And hey Deidre, Brian's also in here. Every new moon is the start of a new cycle. Regeneration is beautiful. Yes, and this is actually a full moon that we're moving into. So this full moon in Gemini is going to be pretty powerful, you guys. This the energy, it might, so we're going to get into like now the content of the video, but the energy can be all over the place with Gemini because it's a very fast moving energy. If you're a Gemini, you know that you think fast, you're very quick-minded, you're very, you know, you're witted or you're witty, and it's like, it's just, there's a quickness to Gemini that you can't quite get with any of the other signs. You might get it with Virgo as well, because Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. They're co-ruled by Mercury. But it's a very quick energy. And if you're a Gemini, you know exactly what I mean. If you know Geminis, you know what I mean. So that's what it's all about. And so when it comes to your minds and your thoughts, it's going to be like quick moving energy. It's also going to be a time for us to process everything and communicate our truth. And that's like truth with a capital T. This is more than just like what you think is truth. This is like the deepest truth that you feel, you know, as a very, you know, gut instinct kind of truth. Healthy living practice. I love that. So this is going to be a time to process that. Gemini energy is actually, Gemini is the communicator. Like Gemini talks. That's why I'm so good at like going live, because I can talk for hours, like non-stop, and it's something fun for me. So it's a good match, right? For someone who maybe does something like live streaming. And because, you know, this is Gemini is an energy that is ruled by Mercury, during the full moon, hey Darcy, which is going to be on Wednesday, you might even begin to receive messages that are wanting to be channeled through you. I believe that Gemini is able to do this, especially if you have a lot of 12th house energy, you know, in your chart, in your natal chart. You can access like that divine knowledge, that universal knowledge, and Geminis have this ability to like bring it through by using their voice and sharing by being creative. And that's something that you might be, you know, experiencing during this full moon, that you get like these messages, right? And so when you feel something wanting to come through, that means you got to write it down, you got to journal it, you got to make sure that you take action towards doing those things that are coming to you, that are intuitively wanting to be expressed through you. And you have to write it down, because you really only have a short amount of time after something inspires you to use that energy to create, you know, what was wanting to come through. The 12th house is the house of the subconscious mind and the beyond, the knowledge from the beyond. So, and I'm looking at the chat, you guys. I'm also trying to get through the notes as well. So bear with me if I don't catch your question. If there's any moderators in the chat or any astrologers in the chat, feel free to answer the questions as well. Yes. So this full moon is also going to be a time where the veil between the third and the fourth dimensions is thinner. If you were in the Finding the Magic Playground, we had like a whole discussion on the 9 dimensions, and that's just pertaining to Earth. There's more than 9 dimensions, but so Gemini energy is in general is very sensitive to the collective energy of the planet, which is the 4th dimension. And this is what allows Gemini to be like a transmitter of important messages to the collective. Some of us during this full moon are going to feel overwhelmed because there's a lot going on in the planet, and the collective energies are a bit chaotic right now. People are feeling very confused. Some are waking up as if from a dream, like not knowing where to go next or not knowing what to do. Some people are still asleep and they're just kind of like going through, you know, the motions on, you know, in life, not realizing their untapped potential. But for us light workers, we are aware and we understand what is going on. Hey, Wendy. So we have kind of like the upper hand in that we can use our knowledge, and using knowledge is a very Gemini thing. Gemini is all about knowledge. We can use our knowledge to work through the energies or to process them like in a mental way, and to use whatever insights that we receive to bring more light to the world. Now that pertains to light workers. This is a moment also where you might feel a little bit lost. It's possible, and not everyone is going to feel everything that I'm saying, but if it resonates with you, just listen, like pay attention to what that is and how that, you know, how that feels for you. But this is a moment where you might feel lost, or you might feel like giving up because all seems useless, because all seems unseen. But this is not the time to give up on your spiritual path, on your purpose. There is always the calm energy after the storm, and we're moving towards one of the biggest revolutions of our lives, you guys. In these next couple of months, we've got, like I mentioned, we've got eclipses. We've got that Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January. So it's important that you hang in there and you see it through. The message very clearly is like, do not give up. Do not give up, especially if you feel like you've got something to give to the world. That's very important. You need to pay attention to that. It's significant. And I'm sure there's something, that is wanting to be sort of birthed from you and shared from you to the rest of the world. So I'm going to switch over to the iPad display so you guys can see the chart of the full moon. And thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of this broadcast. I just need to make sure that it's all working and connected, and we'll give it a little test run. And it's working. Okay, so you should be able to see me making little notes on the chart. So if you've never seen an astrology chart, well, welcome. If this is your first experience looking at a chart, this is the chart of the full moon. You know what, you guys? Also, I am designing an astrology course, like a beginner's astrology course, to help those who have no idea what the hell astrology is, or they want to get into it a little bit more, but they just don't know where to start. I'm going to do a course, an introduction course for people so that they can start to understand what this is all about. I think that astrology is one of the most powerful tools that we can use for ascension, for learning your purpose, for discovering who you are, your path, for understanding where you're at and why you're feeling the way you feel in life. Very, very important tool, and to me it's my favorite. So I want to share it. But here's the moon. Let me show you where the moon's at. There's the moon, and there's the sun at 90 degrees. They're opposing. That's what creates a full moon. When the sun and the moon oppose, the moon is full. And the sun is in Sagittarius. We're still in Sagittarius season, which is pretty much about speaking our truth. But let me show you what the moon is doing. There's a few transits. The moon is quincunxing Pluto, Venus, Saturn, and the south node. Neptune is squaring the sun and the moon. During this day, Jupiter is going to trine Uranus. Jupiter is going to conjunct the south node. Mars is and these aren't exact, but these are very close. Mars will be trining Neptune. Chiron goes direct the day right after the full moon. Chiron on this day is going to be trining Mercury, and Mercury is going to be quincunxing Uranus. And Chiron will also be squaring Jupiter, and Jupiter will be Juno will be squaring the nodes as well. And those are all the transits that I'm going to be talking about in this video, just to give you a little summary before we get into it. But the very first aspect that we're going to talk about is this quincunx to Pluto, Venus, Saturn, and the North Node. So I'm going to just kind of get through the astrology, and then I can answer some questions afterwards. So with Pluto, Pluto is the planet of transformation. With Pluto, our self-esteem is going to be tested, is going to feel tested. With Saturn, because he is the planet of maturity and growth and seeing from a higher perspective, Saturn is going to force us to see where in our relationships we feel like we've gone wrong. And we're going to have to ask ourselves, are we at a place of maturity where we can actually see what's going on? And are actually willing to take responsibility for our actions that begun from our emotions. Venus, if you can see it, it's kind of like sandwiched in between Pluto and Saturn. And this means that right now, our relationships are kind of at a crisis point. The truth has come out and we can no longer hide from it. And with the South Node being right here next to all of this, this is basically, you guys, this is a stellium in Capricorn energy. So we've got Jupiter, South Node, Saturn, Venus, Pluto, all of these planets in Capricorn all bunched up together. And this is also where, the sun is going to move into Capricorn soon on the 21st. And then on the 25th, we'll have that eclipse. And so now there's going to be more, the sun will be joining this crew over here, this Capricorn crew. And that's significant. With the South Node and Jupiter here as well, there's no denying that, like, it kind of feels like the hammer has come down and we have to face it all without fear, or at least despite our fear. This full moon in Gemini is going to give us clarity of mind so that we can process this information that is coming in and hopefully discover new information to guide us forward. For some of us, this is going to bring up karmic relationships and past life stuff, revelations about how to proceed from here. But you have to remember one thing for sure, is that things have changed. And there's no going back to the way that it once was. You just have to be okay with that at this point on your spiritual journey. You just have to be okay. Things have changed and they're not going to go back to the way they were. And if you're able to accept that, you're going to be able to sort of flow through these energies more easily because you'll understand. You'll understand at a deeper level. And that's what Saturn wants. Saturn, Pluto. It's like they change things, they transform things. What you thought was real is going to completely shift and it's going to be something else. These are the themes that are going on in our life right now. The other aspect is Neptune over here. He's actually squaring both the sun and the moon, creating a T-square. And T-squares, remember, T-squares are kind of intense. T-squares create friction energy, and the friction energy has to be resolved. It has to be worked through. The harshness of the reality that we're facing for some of us is going to be too much. Neptune here is going to cause some of us to escape into our illusions, into the past, into thinking that we can fix it or that we can restore things from our past, that we can fix it. But you can't restore things that are dying. Like, that's what Pluto is. Pluto is death, but it's also rebirth. Things are dying and leaving your life and moving away from your life because they're supposed to. Hey, Joan, welcome in. They're supposed to leave. So if you're trying to fix something that's, why try to fix something when there's no need to fix it? That's basically the energy. And if you escape into your illusions during this time, you will so be going in the wrong direction. You'll be going away from your soul. Gemini is also about like the harsh reality of life. It's what happens like in the streets, where like the common folk are. It's the realm of you got to protect yourself, otherwise no one will have your back. It's like dog eat dog reality of life. And this is what the South Node, Saturn, Venus, and Pluto are showing us about our relationships right now. Like the harsh truth of it all. So you need to be able to face it maturely and understand from a higher perspective instead of running away and being in denial. In denial of it. Jupiter is going to be trining Uranus. That's a fun one. Uranus has been in Taurus for a while, and Uranus wants us to find new ways to build our lives, new ways to build our relationships, new ways to build our future. It's not like we don't have the support that we need to create something new. We do. That's Uranus right here in Taurus. We have the support, and so all we need to do is just keep going forward instead of backwards. Uranus wants us also to work together. He does rule Aquarius, which is humanitarian issues and community and friendships. He wants us to work together, but we have to be willing to step off the fate train and step into the destiny train and find a new way of doing things altogether. We have to be willing to completely walk away from situations that do not serve us. We need to be willing to release the fear of the unknown. Jupiter is asking us to step forward in our career path into a life of success this year, where we build our magical kingdom. If you haven't watched my Jupiter in Capricorn video, make sure that you watch it, because I talk all about Jupiter in Capricorn, and he's in Capricorn for the whole year, from December to December. So it's a big part of what we're experiencing right now. And I also go into each individual sign in that video and tell you about how it's going to be affecting you in your life. But these, all these Capricorn energies, they're all harsh truths. That's what Capricorn is. It's like the harsh truth, and next to Saturn of all things. I mean, next to the South Node of all things. That's even harsher, because South Node is about karma. It's about like the past, healing the past. And we have to face these things. Those who move forward despite their fear will succeed during these times. But those who do not, and they lose hope, will not. And those who move, those who are able to move forward despite their fear, they're going to get to go through the portal. Because this Gemini full moon is actually a portal. It's like, basically, those who believe will pass through the eye of the needle. I just finished watching this a clip from the Star Wars movie where the main character, you guys, I don't really know Star Wars, but is it Luke Skywalker? Is he the main character? Anyways, he's with Yoda, Master Yoda, and Yoda is like they're trying to recover their ship that like sunk into like the water or something. And Luke, like, the master tells him that he can lift it out of the water with his own hands, like with his mind, but he doesn't believe. And so because he doesn't believe, that's why he failed. You have to believe. That's one of the most powerful things in your life right now that will carry you through, is your fucking faith. I don't know where that F-bomb came out of, but sorry. It's your faith. Your faith is going to carry you through, you guys. If you don't have faith, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in the future, if you don't believe in something, like, you're not going to get through the eye of the needle. You can't get through the eye of the needle without faith, right? Let's talk about Jupiter conjunct the South Node. It's not exact yet, but it will be exact later on. But Jupiter is expanding this energy, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's also showing us the way through, though. We're going to need to find our optimism through looking at this stuff, all of this Capricorn stuff. Jupiter brings in that optimism. This is how we're going to get through, by choosing to see the positive side of it, by choosing to know deep within your soul that you matter, that you have a purpose, and that there truly is a reason for being here. Our faith is being really tested right now, everyone's faith, but those that hold on to the truth and see with naked eyes, like I said, when you move forward towards the next phase. This is a year of success, you guys. If you're able to focus on your goal, if you're able to play the game, like the rat. Remember, the rat in the Chinese zodiac wins the race because she knows how to play the game. She gets on the ox and she whispers into his ear where to go. And the ox just like plows through things. And right before they get to the finish line, the rat says, "Thank you for the ride," and jumps off and crosses the finish line first. And that's why the rat is the very first. Dude, there's so many things. We're starting new cycles. This is the beginning again. Like, the Chinese calendar has gone full circle through all of the animals and now is starting all over again. We're moving into the age of Aquarius at the end of next year. Like, this year is like major transitional change for the world. It's not just us. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction is big shift for the world. And we're going to see it. We're going to experience it in our own personal lives, but we're going to see it in the external world. Like politics, government, things like that are going to be completely shifted and changed. And it's going to seem a little scary. YouTube is going through a crazy transition right now. If you didn't know about it, you can look it up. There's a lot of videos out there on it, but things like that are going to be shifting and changing. These are new phases. These are new things. But it is a year of success. So if you're able to focus on your goal, if you're able to play the game and be really witty at it, like the rat, I feel like the rat is kind of like Gemini too. Gemini energy as well. You will succeed. You will move forward towards success in your life. Let's talk about Mars and Neptune. They're actually going to be trining during this full moon. They're both offering us a way to tap into our intuition by using our gut feelings and by tapping into that. And that will tell you exactly what action to take next, because Mars is about action and Neptune is about our intuition and our sixth sense. Mars is connected to Neptune in a really beautiful way. It's a trine. It's a positive energy. It's like a benevolent energy. And it expresses itself through this door that says, if you don't trust your intuition, you're not going to know where to go next. You're not going to know what action to take. Chiron is significant, you guys. I love the Chiron, the Uranus, and the Mercury, and the Jupiter aspects. I think these are my favorite for this full moon. Hey guys, thank you for being in the chat, by the way. I'm going to get through the astrology and then we're going to answer some questions. So hold your questions until the end, because I won't be able to go back into the chat and look at them, okay? But I do want to answer your questions. So we're almost done with this. So Chiron is retrograde right now. When planets are retrograde, basically it's like an internal process. And then when they go direct, it becomes this external expression of that energy. Chiron is going direct the day right after the full moon, you guys. Chiron retrograde has been helping us to draw our healing energy in. We draw it in from external sources, because Chiron is the wounded healer. He teaches us how to heal ourselves, and he teaches us how to heal the world by healing ourselves. It's like a magnet when it's retrograde. It's been attracting healing powers to us. But when it goes direct, it's going to become this electrical charge that will cause the energy to change and to move. And we're going to see this in our external environments. It's like we've been getting ready for our magical powers, and the time has literally come. The time has come. Chiron is going to be trining Mercury. We'll talk about that one first. And Mercury is going to be quincunxing Uranus. I love these. These are my favorite. So Mercury quincunx or trine Chiron these are powerful occult and healing skills. Chiron and Mercury are helping us to tune into ancient times, you guys. This is significant. Listen up. Tuning into ancient times and remembering old, ancient healing skills, like from ancient cultures, like Atlantis, Egypt, Lemuria, ancient civilizations. They had these healing capabilities. We're tapping into that, you guys. Mercury is also in Sagittarius. And that's significant because Sagittarius, if you know the symbols of the signs, Sagittarius is a centaur. He's a half horse and half human. And they both have that arrow, right? It's like they shoot their intention out. Chiron is also a centaur, half human, half animal. And Chiron was the first astrologer. He was the first healer. That's his story. And he was innovative in his time for wanting to actually help humanity. And Mercury is also quincunxing Uranus, which rules Aquarius, which is the sign of humanitarian issues, friends, sharing your gifts with the world, community involvement, and the Aquarian age in general, to make the world a better place by trying something different, something new. That's what Uranus rules. So Mercury in Sagittarius, quincunxing Uranus, is asking us to use new and different ways to communicate right now. Mercury is the planet of communication, ruled by Gemini. That's why this is significant, you guys, because Mercury is ruled by Gemini, and this is the Gemini full moon. You have to communicate your truth. In fact, with Mercury in Sagittarius, nothing but the truth will come out of our mouths. So we have to watch what we say. Like, you have to be like sacred with your words. Be impeccable with your words. That's one of the 4 agreements. And if you haven't read that book, then make sure that you read it. So make sure that you know what you're going to say and how it's going to come out, because you can't take things back. Let's erase this stuff. Chiron is also squaring Jupiter. This aspect strengthens the will and the mind, and it activates consciousness about social justice and freedom. Like what? It's like a revolutionary energy. It's a long-term radical plan beginning to take effect. History is about to be made this year, you guys. And we're going to finally realize, get this, we are the ones we've been waiting for. It's like we keep wanting someone else to make a difference, someone else to do it, but we're the ones we've been waiting for. Oh, thanks, Brian. These Chiron aspects, to me, are some of the most interesting and significant regarding this full moon, because they involve Mercury, the ruler of the sign of Gemini and the 3rd house of communication. And because they are foreseeing into the future, you guys, they're foreseeing into the future of humanity as a whole, and showing us that we really are being guided and aligned in the exact direction that we need to go. This year, there's no coincidences. You just got to go with the flow. You got to listen to your intuition. Go with what needs to happen. What do you need to do next? You will know. You have to believe in yourself. You have to have faith. When you're tested, I mean, we watch this in movies, we watch this in stories, like the main character gets tested, their faith gets tested, and the only way they get through is when they find their faith again. The belief in themselves. You have to believe in yourself. And you need to pay attention right now. Gemini alertness is a thing, you guys. It's a thing that we need to be doing right now. Know your surroundings. Be conscious of what you're doing and what you're saying. The last aspect that I want to talk about for this full moon is Juno squaring the nodes. Remember, the north node is destiny, the south node is karma. This is life purpose stuff. So for those of us, Juno is like, she's the relationship guru. That's kind of what it is. She represents those soulmate relationships, the deep connection relationships. For those of us in soulmate relationships, especially those of us in union, Juno is asking us to realign our relationships in general so that we can realign with our soul path. Look to what is beautiful. And here's the main message of this entire full moon, you guys. Look to see what is beautiful around you. See the beauty all around you. Focus on what is working. Feel the potential of these powerful times. Heal and be healed. And know that you are on the right track. You just need to keep going. You just need to keep moving forward. It's simple. Simple but not simple. You know what I mean? Simple but not simple. So thank you guys. What I'm going to do right now is go through all of the signs and tell you what house this full moon is going to be affecting you in. And then we can do a little Q&A at the end. because I think there's a lot of questions tonight, and then we have a lot of new people also. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming over and watching this video and hanging out with us tonight. This is a lot. If you're new to this, it's probably overwhelming. Don't feel bad. Just take in what comes in and don't worry about the rest. But basically, let's go through the signs real quick. We'll get through that quick. It's not long. I'm just going to tell you the house and what it could possibly, what it's going to be like focusing on. So for Aries, if you're an Aries sun and Aries rising, this is going to be happening in your third house of communication. So communication will be affected for Aries. For Taurus, this is going to be in your second house of finances, of material possessions, and the material world. So this is going to be affecting that area of your life. The full moon in Gemini will shine some light. This is the light of the moon at its brightest. It's shining light in this area of your life. For Gemini, this is your first house of the self, your identity, who you are. You're going to be discovering more about yourself. For Cancer, this is the 12th house. So you're going to probably be having a lot of crazy dreams, going out there into the ethers, into the world, doing some astral traveling and discovering new things, and then bringing it back into the world to share with everyone. Leo, this is happening in your 11th house of friends and sharing your gifts with the world. So express yourself, express your truth, during this full moon, and be creative as you can. Virgo, this is the 10th house of career for you. So like this full moon, like if you're getting, because Virgos are they're manifestors, they're natural manifestors. So if you're getting those intuitive hits, what I would recommend is you write everything down, because that will, like, those ideas are going to be like super potent, super powerful. Hey Jessica, hey KB. So those are things that you need to write down, Virgo. You're going to gain insights into how to grow your career path during this full moon. Libra, 9th house of spiritual integration. So this is going to be a spiritual awakening, a connection to your soul, diving deeper and understanding yourself in your life and where you're at right now in regards to your spiritual path. For Scorpio, this is going to be happening in your 8th house of change and transformation. Things are probably changing in your life. Communication will take the form of change and shifting. So be very clear, like I said, be impeccable with your words during this week, you guys, and read the 4 Agreements if you haven't read that book. Sagittarius, this is going to be happening in your 7th house of relationships. So be careful also to communicate what you really want to people in your life. Don't hurt people's feelings, but definitely be clear about how you're going to communicate with people, because that is the realm that it's going to be affecting in your life. For Capricorns, this is going to be the 6th house of work, the present moment, and being here now. So for you, this is like working on like your everyday schedule. This is something that, you need to communicate, and you need to be clear about what exactly you want your daily schedule to look like. And at work, communicate clearly. That, because the Gemini moon is all about speaking, right? Communicating and understanding as well, and bringing in the knowledge. For Aquarius, this is going to be in your 5th house of creativity. So that means focus on your creative expression when it comes to throat chakra, your voice, you're speaking your truth through this avenue, this chakra. And also being creative in general. Whatever creativity gets inspired, just go do those things. Don't say I'll just do it later, or I'll come back to it later, because the creative moments and the inspired moments are the key to the future. That's what we're supposed to be doing. For Pisces, this is going to be in the 4th house of the home. And so this Gemini full moon is going to be all about, like, okay, in your home, like, how are you communicating? How are you expressing yourself? Are things kind of in balance in that realm? And with family and things like that. So that might be a little intense for Pisces. But that is, in a nutshell, very quickly going through those houses, you guys. Okay, whew. So questions. Here we go. Here we go. So now is the time to ask questions And I'll put a timestamp like for when I start talking about the houses and stuff and how it's going to be affecting you more personally. But again, thank you guys for being here in this broadcast. Let's see what we got. I love watching your channel. Thank you, Jessica. Wendy says, yes, Cancer. I'm down for some astral traveling. Nice. You're welcome, KB. I have so much Gemini in my chart. Gemini Sun, Mercury, and Venus with an Aquarius moon. Ooh. Oh, you guys, I also have that psychic moon video out. Your psychic gifts based on your moon sign. Make sure you watch that video too. That one's really, really interesting. And it has timestamps too, so you can go to your moon sign. I'm an Aries rising and moon. Fire is dangerous. Going gently with others. Hurt people. Yeah. Darcy, Aries rising. Scorpio, sun, moon. We live by 4 truths. Mo, okay, this past month I have been very upfront and expressing myself about my interactions with people and telling people how I feel. Good. You're welcome, Alexa. You said sun or rising signs? Yes. Yes. If you want to go deeper and say your moon sign and your Venus, you can, but this mostly is sun and rising. That's what I would focus on that. If it doesn't resonate, look into your moon sign, and then if that doesn't resonate, look into the Venus. But just know that the moon has, emotional aspects, and Venus has like relationship aspects, but your sun and your rising is like who you are. Is your identity. So that's where the difference is. More than like it's all together is your identity, but I mean, it's the first house kind of thing. So that's why we're talking about. Yeah, you're welcome, Darcy. You're welcome. So yeah, those are the kind of things that are, going on right now. This is going to be a really beautiful full moon. I'm really excited. Like Dawn and I are going to the beach. We're going to go to the coast, the Oregon coast on Thursday. I can't wait because the moon is going to be full Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And so Wednesday into Thursday basically is the full moon. And I can't wait to go to the ocean and be near the water doing that. Oh my God. Lavish Lizard says, I am Gemini Sun and Virgo rising. Will this moon get me past my obstacle? I feel so stuck in stagnation, moving on from toxic people, dropping what no longer serves me. Thank you. Gemini Sun and Virgo rising. Did you hear when I went through the houses? For Gemini, that's the first house, and for Virgo, it's the 10th house of career. So that's where the full moon is going to be actually affecting you. I don't know what your obstacle is. That kind of sounds like more of a intuitive psychic question, so I wouldn't really be able to get into that right now. If you have more like general questions about astrology, that I would love to answer those. But yeah, so that's first house and 10th house for you, my dear. So hopefully it will help you get past your obstacle. And honestly, I feel like if you put your mind to something, and you really focus on that right now, you can get through anything. But what's really going to help us, and I did talk about this, is faith. You need to believe in yourself. Totally resonates. I'm also Scorpio rising and I'm buying a house, just signed today. Oh, cool. I'm not your average Taurian. I'm a complex creature. Yeah, right? Oh my God. Yeah, I can't wait for that. You were raised there, Deidre? Wow, that's really cool. You'll be at the beach too? Yay! Okay, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope that gave you some kind of clarity. But yeah, that's kind of as far as I can probably take that. I'd probably pull some cards for you and stuff to get more detailed or more specific. But if you're feeling stuck and in stagnation, there's probably some energy clearing that you have to do. You have to clear your mind. This Gemini moon is going to help us clear our minds. So or at least ask us to clear our minds, make space, make room for the truth. So that's something that you really need to pay attention to right now in general. For everyone, if you feel stagnated or kind of stuck, you have to ask yourself, what is that? And when we feel stuck, we have to stop focusing on the thing that we feel stuck at. you have to change gears and start focusing on something completely different. And that will shift the energy. Then maybe you'll get re-inspired to come back and sort of face it again or deal with it or process it again. But if you feel stuck, like that's not the time to try to fix it. You know what I mean? You have to just stop resisting it, and then just like move on and do something else and then come back to it later. Hey Mel's, welcome in. All Gemini's Venus unite. That's funny. But yeah, that's what I wanted to cover with you guys today. I don't have anything else. Thank you guys for your questions. I so appreciate you very much. Thank you for also giving this video a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please X out of the chat and give the video a thumbs up. Oh, good. Yeah, meditation is really good. And also share this video out with your friends and invite your friends to watch this channel, especially if you feel that they'll resonate, if they feel like they're a light worker or they have a mission on the planet, because we want to focus on that here on this channel. I want to be a guide for other light workers. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys very much too. Make sure you watch the whole video through to get all the information. And if you're interested in the holiday special readings from me and Jason, or the January 1st New Year's resolution 40-day magic cleanse with us, or the Moon Goddess training and how to apply for that, and it starts January 23rd. I changed the date, so it's the 23rd, not the 25th. If you want to learn more about that and you want to apply to the program, I would really appreciate that, and be so excited to hear that people are interested. All the information is in the description of this video, so check it out, all the links and everything and exactly what to do. So you're welcome, you guys. Have an amazing rest of your evening, and I will see you all very soon on Wednesday for our full moon ceremony, where I'm going to play some music, maybe even play my new crystal ball. I'm totally going to play my new crystal ball. It's rose quartz, or it's pink. I call it rose quartz. I feel like it is rose quartz because it's the heart chakra, but it's beautiful. It's like has this beautiful resounding sound, and we're going to do some sound healing with that on Wednesday. So definitely come back for that. Make sure to subscribe too. You're welcome, Isabel. Love you guys. See you Wednesday. Ciao.